There was one ending that was really inevitable, says Ruman Alam, whose novel Leave the World Behind was the source material for Netflix's latest apocalyptic thriller. The key thing to look at is that the book ends with a question mark. Sam Ishmael's sci-fi feature adaptation makes a few diversions from the book, particularly in regards to the ending. But according to Alam, who also serves as an executive producer on the film, these changes were emotionally faithful to the book. Leave the World Behind follows Amanda and Clay Sanford, played by Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, who bring their children Rose and Archie on a beach getaway. Mahershala Ali, G.H. Scott, the owner of the luxurious home the Sanfords are renting, who comes home with his daughter Ruth to escape mysterious chaos occurring in the city. The two families are then forced to exist and survive under the same roof as increasingly strange and apocalyptic events occur, including plane crashes, herds of deer filing into the backyard, and Archie's teeth mysteriously falling out. In an attempt to help Archie, G.H. and Danny drive out to meet conspiracy theorist Danny. While Danny ultimately agrees to help them out, a tense standoff leads G.H. to the conclusion that these events could be the result of a military campaign intended to destabilize a nation by forcing people to turn against each other. To survive, he decides that both families need to camp out in the bunker in his neighbor's house. But that's just his theory. Neither the film nor the source material give a definitive answer. As Amanda and Ruth search in the backyard for Rose, who has gone missing, they stop in their tracks when they see explosions coming from the city. The movie ends with Rose finding the neighbor's bunker and, more importantly, a DVD containing the final season of Friends. As she puts on the series finale, the Rembrandt's theme song, I'll Be There For You, plays over the movie's end credits. In the book, Rose leaves the neighbor's house, gathering supplies from them to bring back to the families. I don't know if you caught that or not, but in the end, at the end, as the credits are playing, the theme song from Friends, I'll Be There For You, plays. And this whole movie is symbolic. Archie's teeth fall out. And the song by the Rembrandts, I'll Be There For You, plays at the end. The house that they are in is black and white, and it's called the Open Corner House. Look on the map and let me know what state you see has an open corner. And now belief, expectation, and love remain, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Do you love the Most High? Now, that whole movie is about safety in the house, the open corner house, from everything that's going on around and out in the world, Cyber attacks are happening. The writer of that film, he wrote the series called Mr. Robot, and it's about cyber attacks. And if you go through and look at the names of the episodes, you're going to see Exodus, you're going to see 401, 402. It's all going to be, it relates to everything he's been showing us. Revelations chapter 10, and I saw another strong messenger coming down from the heaven, robed in a cloud and having a rainbow on his head. And his face was like the sun, and his feet like columns of fire. And having in his hand a little book opened, and he placed his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land, and cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roars. And when he cried out, 7 thunders spoke their sounds. And when the 7 thunders spoke their sounds, I was about to write, but I heard a voice from the heavens saying to me, seal up what the 7 thunders spoke, and do not write them down. And the messenger whom I saw standing on the sea and on the land lifted up his right hand to the heaven, and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created the heaven and what is in it, the earth and what is in it, and the sea and what is in it, that there shall be no further delay. But in the days of the sounding of the 7th messenger, when he is about to sound, the secret of the Most High shall also be ended, as declared to his servants, the prophets. And the voice which I heard out of the heavens spoke to me again and said, go, take the little book which is opened in the hand of the messenger standing on the sea and on the earth. And I went to the messenger and said to him, give me the little book. And he said to me, take it and eat it, and it shall make your stomach bitter, but it shall be sweet as honey in your mouth. And I took the little book out of the messenger's hand and ate it, and it was as sweet as honey in my mouth. But when I had eaten it, my stomach was made bitter. And he said to me, you have to prophesy again concerning many peoples and nations and tongues and sovereigns. And a reed like measuring rod was given to me. And the messenger stood, saying, rise and measure the dwelling place of the Most High and the slaughter place and those worshiping in it. But cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it. For it has been given to the nations, and they shall trample the set-apart city underfoot for 42 months. And I shall give unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clad in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands that are standing before the Most High of the earth. And if anyone wishes to harm them, fire comes out from their mouth and consumes their enemies. And if anyone wishes to harm them, he has to be killed in that way. These possess authority to shut the heaven, so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy. And they possess authority over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they wish. And when they have ended their witness, the beast coming up out of the pit of the deep shall fight against them and overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Mitzrayim, where also our master was impaled. And some of the peoples and tribes and tongues and nations see their dead bodies for the 3.5 days, and not allow their dead bodies to be placed into tombs. And those dwelling on the earth rejoice over them and exult, and they shall send gifts to each other, because these 2 prophets tortured those dwelling on the earth. And after the 3.5 days, a spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell on those who saw them. And they heard a loud voice from the heaven saying to them, come up here. And they went up into the heaven, into a cloud, and their enemies saw them. And in that hour there came to be a great earthquake, and 1/10 of the city fell, and in the earthquake 7,000 men were killed, and the rest became afraid, and gave esteem to the Most High of the heaven. The second woe is past, and see, the third woe is coming speedily. And the seventh messenger sounded, and there came to be loud voices in the heaven, saying, The reign of this world has become the reign of our Master, and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders sitting before the Most High on their thrones fell on their faces and worshipped the Most High, saying, We give you thanks, O Yahuwah El Shaddai, the one who is and who was and who is coming, because you have taken your great power and reigned, and the nations were enraged, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead to be judged, and to give the reward to your servants the prophets, and to the set apart ones, to those who fear your name, small and great, to destroy those who destroy the earth. And the dwelling place of the Most High was opened in the heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place. And there came to be lightnings, and voices, and thunders, and an earthquake, and great hail. And a great sign was seen in the heaven, a woman clad with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And being pregnant, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. And another sign was seen in the heaven. And see, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his heads. And his tail draws a third of the stars of the heavens and throws them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she bore a male child, who was to shepherd all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught away to the Most High and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by the Most High, to be nourished there 1,260 days. And there came to be fighting in the heaven. Michael and his messengers fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his messengers fought. But they were not strong enough, nor was a place found for them in the heaven any longer. And the great dragon was thrown out, the serpent of old, called Devil and Satan, who leads all the world astray. He was thrown to the earth, and his messengers were thrown out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in the heaven, Now have come the deliverance, and the power, and the reign of our Most High, and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers, who accused them before the Most High day and night, has been thrown down. And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb, and because of the word of their witness. And they did not love their lives to death. Because of this, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that he has little time. And when the dragon saw that he had been thrown to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, to fly into the wilderness, to her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the presence of the serpent. And out of his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river after the woman, to cause her to be swept away by the river. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the river which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to fight with the remnant of her seed, those guarding the commands of the Most High and possessing the witness of Yahushua Messiah. Now, let me just back this up here for a second. The world, my friends, the world, those dwelling on the earth, they believe that this is all literal, that this isn't symbolic, and this isn't a map guiding you to your deliverance. But I'm here to tell you that it is, and that you must follow it if you want to be delivered. Right here in verse 11 of chapter 12, it says, And they overcame him because of the blood of the Lamb, and because of the word of their witness, and they did not love their lives to death. Do you believe that's the word of someone's mouth's witness, or the witness of the blood and of the Lamb? Why is the word the Lamb used here? What is the Lamb? It's the Passover lamb, that you eat all of it. Who is the Lamb? He's the Word. You have to eat all the Word. The blood goes on the door post of your house that you are to get inside of as the angel of death passes over and destroys everyone around outside. That's why it said back here in chapter 11, but cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the nations. Now I'm here to tell you, my friends, that the messengers are the prophets. If you go read the prophets, it will tell you everything that these messengers say. Ezekiel is where you find the measuring rod in the man's hand to measure the dwelling place. In Ezekiel chapter 43 or 42, it says that when the children of Yasharal are ashamed of their crookedness, they shall measure the dwelling place. They shall measure the measurements of the dwelling place, and they shall do them. Do them. That's what the thunder and the lightning and all that stuff represents. It's telling you, this book and all the Bible, it's telling you what you have to do. The Messiah said, you must pick up your stake and follow me if you want to enter. Sitting at home, staying in your boat, whatever it is you're doing out there in the world today, that's not following the Messiah. Following him to Jerusalem. That's eating all the lamb, all the word. That's what you have to do. That's why this movie came out, Leave the World Behind. I mean, most of you probably don't realize what that buck represents, but you're going to have to. You're going to have to understand what that means. And that's why also, when it says they overcome by the Lamb, or where'd it go? They overcame because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of the witnesses, the word of their witnesses, and they did not love their lives to death. If you don't come to Jerusalem, it's because you love your life and you ain't willing to die. You want your life. The male child was taken to the Most High and to his throne. All of Revelations is telling you this, my friends. Every bit of it. That's why right here in 14 you see, and I looked and saw a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written upon their foreheads. And I heard the voice of the heaven like the voice of many waters. The voice out of the heaven is the truth. Like waters, the truth. And the voice of loud thunder from the throne. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. That's the throne. That's in Jerusalem. And they sang a renewed song before the throne. The song of Moshe, the song of the Lamb, the song of the renewed Jerusalem. That's what that movie represents. You have to go to the house, and that's why the deer are in the backyard. That's why the buck is on the wall on I Pet Goat 2, where the rabbit is on the back and the red door says exit on it. And if you look at the hexagrams for 23, 23 is known as the year of the exit, the year of the departure. 24 is known as the year of the return. If you go back through my videos like 3 months ago and you see the ones that says mirror in the title, those videos around that time, I put tons, boatloads of information on there for you that I'm not going to get into right now. I'm not going to go back through it all again. I will. Hopefully I do sometime soon. Maybe even today. I don't know. I'm not going to call the shots like that. But I've put more evidence than you could ask for that's telling you that this is the case. And the bottom line is, what will prevent you from doing that is what you love and want to hold on to regarding your life. You're not willing to give it up. I'm making this right now. I do have an expectation of the Most High gathering people and what He's offered, what He's promised me. I'm not going to hold my breath for anyone who's listening to this, who usually listens and that kind of thing. I mean, I love you guys. I don't have an expectation that you're going to do this. I'm making this right now just in case someone does find this, and hopefully someday soon, and they hear what I just said about them videos I made 3 months ago. And you can find videos in my other channels, Escape Babylon and All Honor. This one's called All Esteem. But in All Esteem, this channel here, back 3 months ago, you can find videos with, go to the ones that where it's talking about the image of the beast, roaring like a lion, mirror on the wall, those things, and listen to what information I present in those videos, and turn your ears on, open your eyes and listen. That those lies, those magic spells, one of those magic spells is that you don't need to think about your inheritance. That, yeah, Moses and them, they had to go to the land, and Abraham and everyone, but you don't have to. Let me tell you right now, you're wrong. Remember what I read in the last video. In Isaiah, it said, look to Abraham. Look to the hole in the earth, the pit where you were dug from. Look to Abraham. He was alone, him and Sarah, and I blessed them. They had to walk. If you don't have to walk to the throne, back to your house, he didn't have to. He wouldn't have had to. We could have all just lived our lives wherever we want, done whatever we want, and we could have got twinkled up into and back to heaven, to wherever you think you're going. That's a joke. It's ridiculous. All that we've learned, all the stories we read about in the Bible, all that's happened throughout history, it wouldn't have had to take place if all we got to do now is just do whatever the heck we want to do. If we can get a reward for talking a big game but not walking nothing, well, what kind of world are you living in? That's not in the heavens. That's why he said, those who dwell in the heavens rejoice. The sounds of thunder from the throne. There's a reason all this information is given to us. There's a reason he said, measure the dwelling place, but don't measure outside the court. Why wouldn't he measure out there? Because anything out there is going to be destroyed. That's why down in the bottom here, it says right here, and the winepress was trodden outside the city, and blood came up out of the winepress up to the bridles of the horses, the churches, the bridles. If you believe that you don't have to come to the throne, you have learned that from churches, from institutions, from people who preach the word, but it's the word of wrongness. It's not the full word, the truth. Looking, if you think that this ain't a map that consists of code words that's telling you something, you're wrong. The reason that that song plays in the end of that movie called I'll Be There For You, that's Abba letting you know, go to the house, I'll be there for you. The reason that the Rembrandts is the one that sang that song. Go look at Rembrandt, who the real Rembrandt is, the painter, and look at his paintings, and you're going to see. I've shown you the one painting on here about Zeus and the white bull, being the white bull, where he stole the woman Utopia or whatever and took her across the sea. You remember that? That was Rembrandt that painted that. You got to go back through and watch my videos. There ain't nothing else that I'm not saying that my videos are entertaining or that you're going to just enjoy them thoroughly. You're not. You're probably not going to like it. And it's probably going to make you uncomfortable and upset you. Well, if you want to live, that's what you're going to have to do. You really need to be in the Word and understanding what each word means, and that it's all riddles. It's all parable. And that's why the messenger told him, don't write down what the thunders speak. Because if he did that, he would have wrote down, you're going to find out one day that the Holy Land that you think is the Holy Land, it ain't the Holy Land, and it's actually in Utah, the open cornered house, and you're going to have to go there. That's what he would have had to wrote down. He didn't write that down because you got to actually prove. You got to actually hunger and thirst. You can't just get the information from this book nonchalantly. This is for those who actually hunger, who have the name of Yahuwah on their forehead, who's actually bowdy, who is willing to eat the whole lamb, who's willing to come out of Egypt and do what's right, do what the Most High tells them to do. And only those people are going to live. If you can't do that, you know what's going to happen. And if you think that you don't have to do that, but you get the reward, you've gone mad. You've been disillusioned. There's only one way to come home. You actually have to come home. It's common sense. If you go back and watch some of them videos I made, you'll see all the stuff about the hexagram, not all, but a lot about the hexagram, and all these movies that are laughing at you, that are mocking you, like Little Shop of Horrors. Just think about that title, Little Shop of Horrors. In that movie, the big flower that eats men's lives is called Audrey 2. It's the same reason I Pet Goat 2 is named that way. There's not an I Pet Goat 1. You might find videos out there that are called I Pet Goat 1, but they're not. There's only one I Pet Goat, and it's I Pet Goat 2 because that's letting you know this is all symbolic. It's riddles. Have you ever tried to solve a riddle before? The way it's written, it's used, there's keywords used in there. You need to know the meaning of them, the significance of them, and it's telling you something. That's what this is. Revelations. That's what the whole Bible is, basically. It tells you of literal events, but the map, the key to your deliverance, is written down in parables, in riddles. Just like that mirror image, just like the star is a triangle, a mountain, looking at itself in the mirror, and just like the yin yang, it's one side's dark, one side's light. It's the trap. It's designed to make people who aren't really bowdy to run to what they think is true and right and nice and cuddly. It's a trap. It's death. That star, just like that star, it's a mirror image. The numbers are the same way. The year 24 is mirrored with the number 42. That's why you see 24 and 42 in here. That's why this movie did come out just now. That's why we've seen everything the way we've seen it. Yeah, you just go to the news. You're going to see those numbers everywhere. It's not, this isn't a joke. This is serious business. And what you're going to lose if you don't do this is joy, peace, gladness, and life everlasting. What you will gain if you don't do this is death, torment, shame, and scourge. The reason when it's talking about the number of the beast, it says the number of his name. It says 666. In reality, that's not what it was. That's not what was written. It equals that number, or some say 616. What actually was written down was 3 Greek letters that spell Iesus, Jesus. Where did the idea that you don't have to think about your inheritance, the idea that you get caught up in the twinkling of an eye and you just get to be the best person you can be, where'd those ideas come from? From Jesus. Where did the idea of Jesus come from? From that place over there, the image of the beast. That's that water that came out of the dragon's mouth, because he's enraged with the woman, the true set apart place, the true throne of the Most High, your mother, Sion, Yerushalayim. It's the truth that's in heaven. That's why it says those who dwell in the heaven rejoice. The truth it's not hard to find. The reason that you ain't finding it is because you're not looking. The reason you're not looking is because you love your life and you ain't willing to lose it. You're not following the Messiah. So what are you? If you're saying you follow the Messiah, but you're not, that makes you a hypocrite. Outside are the hypocrites, the cowardly, the untrustworthy, those who love and do falsehood. If you're okay with being there, well, that's your bed. You're going to sleep in it. If you get to sleep, your throne awaits, and it's life everlasting. It's happiness, peace, joy beyond measure. Everything that you're holding on to that you're not willing to come to your throne for ain't got nothing on this. That's death that you're holding on to. Take the garments of the Messiah, Yahusha, the edge of his garments, which is the truth. Grab a hold of the truth. Do what's right. Follow logic and what makes sense. Just saying you grab a hold of his garment and saying some fake name about him, that's death. You're being led to death. And the reason you're fighting against this truth is because you've gone mad, which is sad. I hope you turn it around soon. There's no evidence that you could offer to justify what you're doing. I've got all you want in the clip and one in the hole to show you where it is you're going. If you don't get on the highway like a deer, come home to your throne. Loosen the grip of the enemy's teeth. The enemy that builds arches, loosen the grip of his teeth that he has on you by taking a hold of the truth, dwelling in the heavens. Don't dwell on the earth. Come home. Your call.